God TLC, and this is God TLC and Chill. You're joining me today. You know we bounced around, had a few streams, some shorts, and some videos produced today and released. Take a look at those. We have content for everyone. I am also the host of Tech That Builds Wealth, the podcast that helps you generate money with the technology that you already own. New system, everyone, new setup. We're in a different area. Got some new visuals here because I'm exploring around and experimenting with the ambience, the location, the digital ecosystem, the studio. I'm currently on the second floor of our studio, and I just felt like coming up here. I felt being closer. Like this is an area open to the canines, right? The dogs, and the studio is pretty much, under construction. I wanted to spend some time in there. I wanted to feel, like the studio that we had before the flash flood and all that severe weather and all those the hurricanes and but it definitely doesn't feel the same. And I'm glad I got to spend some time in there because I got to reflect on we can make this space awesome again. I've been streaming coming to you all from various different environments. One of them being the God TLC Lounge, which is right outside of the studio. So transporting all of the equipment wasn't an issue. Everything's still top grade, notch quality, and it just provides me a different environment. And I believe that the lounge is also a little bit more. It's bigger, um, but it's not. I was gonna say it's a little bit more sound insulated, but not that. It's a bit more cinematic, even though the studio is a bit more soundproofed. So blending those environments, right, and juxtaposing and looking at those environments, I'm in a new space right now. A mixture of those. Flash Gamer. Welcome. What are your favorite games? On our podcast, Tech That Builds Wealth, I had an episode, Gamification, how learning through games is actually very, very effective. Surprisingly, though, a lot of people don't really like learning through games. But not surprisingly, the majority of people love learning through games. So, what are the top games out there in the world? And as I read your name here, part of our channel, God TLC, God Tender Loving Care, is whoever joins, I read your username, or if your username is your name, and we break that down in a very fun way. So, when I look at your name, I think of Flash. One of my most favorite superheroes. I'm not sure if he's Marvel or not. The Flash, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? He has that. He's red. Well, he's not red, but his suit, his armor, his uniform is red, and he has like this thunderbolt right here, like this golden thunderbolt, and he's super fast. The Flash. Gamer, gamer, Oliver. Please shout out what's up, Oliver. I'm going to get to your name in just one moment. Make sure you all subscribe and like the stream. Got some new merch today. Stephen Brumfield. Now, anytime I read Stephen, I'm not sure if it's Stefan or Stephen or Steven. I would read your name as Stefan. Hello, Stefan Brum. Oh, I read it as Field. Start all over again. Oh my goodness. Stephen Brumfield. I'm having a hard time with your name, buddy. Stefan Brumfield. How is it? Is it left hand or is it right hand? Is it Stefan Brumfied or is it Stefan Brumfeed? Fide, feed. Left, right. Second, this one right here. So Stefan Brumfeed, like feed food. How about you just type it into the chat? Let me know how the breakdown of your name. Brumfeed or Brumfide? Confide. right? Because you spell the word confide. I confide in you. Oh, feed. Stephen Brum Feed. Welcome to today's channel. Where is that name from? What etymology is it? Where does it come from? That's a very interesting name. I'm gonna go back up here to Oliver. Oliver, like that name a lot. Oliver. Olives. Olives are delicious. Olives are great. For the longest time, I would never eat olives. And then one day, I was in the studio, and one of my business partners and my partner at the time, she goes and says, "Hey, we're gonna have some olives in our salad." And I'm like, "I don't want that." They're like, "Wait, I didn't know this. You don't like olives?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't like that stuff." It ended up coming to be that I just didn't like the pit, the hard pit to the seed inside. But just like grapes, I mean, you eat it, eat around it, discard of it. So, also named Oliver, Oliver Tree, Oliver. Awesome. And, oh, a retracted message from Stephen Brumfeed. All right, well, let's take a look here, everyone. I am collaborating with a group, and I'm a part of this community that is from like all over the world. So, I mean, this previous week, I was just collaborating with some South Africans, and I got to learn about South Africa. My group members, though, who are representing South Africa, are of Indian descent, and they let me know the history in South Africa and the Indians. They let me know that Indians were brought there to work the plantation fields, and um, there's a huge population of Indians in South Africa. Let me know if any of you have ever been to South Africa. I've never been there, haven't been there yet. And I got to talk to them about North America, and I didn't know that there was this competitive sort of feeling between South Africans and Americans, right? I didn't know that. Um, the conversation didn't get negative. It just got very competitive, and not on my part. I'm like, "Have you ever been to the States?" And they're like, "Psh, no." I'm like, "Oh, you feel like that?" And then they started to talk about, some of American history, about the indigenous native populations. And I listened. I listened. As someone who is indigenous, I was just very taken back. I was very surprised that my group members, my business partners in South Africa, sort of had almost like a disdain for Americans. I just didn't know. I didn't know that. And yeah, then they told me their story about being like first, second generation Indians in South Africa, not really being a part of the culture, not feeling like not knowing any Indian languages, no Marathi, no Hindi, no Punjabi, just like being completely removed from that culture, knowing that they were of Indian descent, but also nationally representing South Africa. So when I'm working with my group members, I didn't say anything really besides listen and oh, why do you feel that way? And, those conversations. But that's why I always ask you all, what part of the world are you joining from? And we've had people here from all walks of life. Oh my goodness. And it's interesting when people show up like from different countries, I automatically look at the time because I'm like, oh, it's probably morning by you, it's probably night by you, it's night by me, or it's morning by me. So when are you joining? Hey, what's up? Elmo. Elmo has joined the conversation. Welcome, Elmo. I used to make music or produce music for a musician who could nail down the Elmo voice. I've tried it, but I've always felt like your name when I've tried imitating Elmo. Maybe one day we'll imitate Elmo. Everyone new here on Got Tender Love and Care. We're just hanging out, got TLC, and chill. Make sure you subscribe and like the stream. One of you lucky subscribers, if you subscribe, one of you lucky subscribers will win an award, a prize, a gift, a shout out, a song dedication, anything you want. At 1,000 subscribers, we're going to have a party. And we're so close to reaching 1,000 subscribers that it could really be any of you. I'm going to take all your names, everyone in my subscribers list, and pretty much just pick one random name from the bucket. It could be your name, your username, and I'm going to read it out loud. I'm going to contact you and let you know, hey, you won the God Tender Loving Care 1,000 subscriber party. And if you don't win that first round, keep subscribing, keep being a part of our network, because at 2,000 subscribers, you will also have a chance. We're doing this per tier. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5, and beyond, etc. We have Santi O. Now the reason I would read your name as Santi O, but my mind is telling me to say Shanti, like Ishanti, but I'm not sure how you pronounce it. How do you pronounce your name? Is it Sante, like a saint, or is it like Shanti? Let me know. Is it this hand right here, Sante, or is it Shante? Right hand, left hand. How do you pronounce it? Oh, like saint. So your name is Santeo. And what does your name mean? Does it come from saint? Does it mean saint? Or, and you have a very good question. I actually covered a stream a few streams ago on this, and we had a really good conversation that led into, I broke down how I got this, and all of a sudden, one of the subscribers ended up sharing with me about the Bible and the Tower of Babel and about Pangea and about, well, in North Africa and Egypt and in Ghana, they have amulets like this, except that they don't call them amulets, they call them sankofa. So if you're interested in that, you can rewind, check our streams. They're all saved, but I'll share a little bit about this. So I'm a personal trainer. Just one of the things that I do, one of the hats that I wear, mixed martial arts personal trainer. Work with UFC stars, amateurs, boxers, people really just wanting to get fit. And I'm working out, I'm training some people, and it's just very intense, right? And I get very, 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 very sweaty. Like if I was a professional wrestler, which I tried, didn't really. I'm more of a mixed martial artist than a wrestler, but so sweaty that look, how professional wrestlers, they like lotion, lube up and all that, their entire body, and they're like glistening. All I have to do is sweat a little bit, and I get like that. I go for a little brisk walk, and all of a sudden I'm pouring sweat. So I end up going, doing some business abroad in Guatemala, and one of the artisans there, because there are so many artisans in the region known as Lago de Atitlan, which is this magical Lake Atitlan. One of the artisans that I meet there ends up making me a bracelet made of this material. This material here is apple jade, and it comes from like the volcanoes, from the water. Like it's very, very natural. It's hard to get, and they made it just for me. The bracelet. This now, I come back to the States. I'm personal training different athletes, and one day I just get so sweaty that the bracelet that they made me, I don't know what happened. I'm talking after class with someone just drenched in sweat. It must have like slipped off. I lose it. I go back to the gym. I go back to the center where I'm training everyone. I look. I'm like, okay, I know I lost it here, because the only other place I would have had it is in my workout bag. So then, after about a week or two, and just like I'm not gonna find it. So if someone found it, they're gonna keep it. I end up getting this as a gift from someone who's near and dear to me, and it was very hard to get. These are very rare. It's apple jade, and it's only made in certain parts of the world. So not a lot of people know what they are, because they're just very hard to get. It's sort of like winning the golden ticket. So you have to be careful if you order these, because some of them are made with plastic, and you don't want that. You don't want the plastic stuff. The plastic stuff is like, and they'll trick you. They'll say, hey, it's real apple jade. But then they send you something plastic, and it's very hard to tell if it's plastic or apple jade, just because it's so smooth. It's smooth. So you really have to like find an artisan that, they go out there just like chucking, what do they call those, looking for pearls, right, in the lakes or in the oceans. and I end up replacing my bracelet with this. Now I can work out, sweat, and I'm not gonna lose this. This isn't gonna slip off of my neck like a bracelet would, right? You sweat hard enough, and these will slip off. So that is what this is, and it's also in the shape of the indigenous sun, the universal symbol, the sun. So it has my colors in it. It has my eye color right here. So my eyes are different colors, and one of my eyes is this color, one of my other eyes is that color, and this part right here, you see this? That's my skin color. So they found the exact same material that the artisan made me. And when I got my bracelet from the artisan, like they did that. They said, "Hey, I made this just for you. I know you've been in town for a few weeks, and I see you walk by every day." And one day they just gave me it. So I was like, ugh. And I never found that piece, but I ended up replacing that with this. So yeah, it's a bittersweet. Cool background story. Well, thank you. That's from Sante, who never answered the question. You're ignoring me, Sante. I asked you a specific question. I asked you, what does your name mean? You said like saint. So I'm gonna look up your name right now, just because part of our show is I look at your names and I look at what part is famous, what part is not, what does it mean, where does it come from. So let's take a look at our good friend here, Sante, and what that comes from. It says santé is a French word that means health. It is commonly used as a toast, similar to cheers in English. Well, would you look at that? And people say, a votre santé, or bonne santé, good health. Well, that's an awesome name, Sante. Would you look at that? Oh, so your uncle nicknamed you that, but your real name is Devante. All right. Awesome nickname. And we have a Stephen here. Let's take a look at Stephen. Now, Stephen, I've had some experience with, right? There are some Stevens around the world. You type Stephen into Google, and all of a sudden, Stephen Curry comes up, the basketball player. Who's that? Isn't there like a Colbert, Stephen Colbert, the guy on that one show who does the news? Who are any other famous Stevens around the world? Anyone? So Stephen is good. Stephen is like famous. People know Stephen, right? But what about Brumfeed? Brumfeed. Let's take a look at Brumfeed. Now, I wasn't wrong. I typed in Brumfeed, and all of a sudden it's saying, that's incorrect. Do you mean Brumfield? No, I don't mean Brumfield. Brumfield isn't Stephen's last name. Stephen's last name is Brumfeed, like feed, like food. So let's correct it, and it's actually, I don't see it anywhere. Brumfeed. Yep. I don't see Brumfeed anywhere. Well, I don't know what your name means. Maybe you can let us know what your name means. Stephen Brumfeed. Don't see the etymology of your name. And Devante. Let's take a look at Devante. I went to school with some Devantes. They were all basketball players. Good classmates. So Devante. Yeah, actually, I made a song with someone named Devante. It's just coming to me right now. Never called him Devante though. He went by the name Agape. I'm like, yeah. In school he was Devante, but then when I brought him back to the studio because he had flow, he went by Agape. So yeah, Devante is a given name often used as a modern boy's name of American origin. It is associated with the meaning devoted. Several notable individuals, particularly in sports, bear the name, including Devonte Graham, I don't know who he is, Devonte Wyatt, don't know who he is. The name also has a Spanish meaning related to fighting for justice. Hey, look at that. So the Spanish people will celebrate you. That means that you fight for justice, Devante. All right. Well, with a name like that, you're on a track for success. You've got the path all lined up for you. Fight for justice. And let's take a look at famous Devantes around the world. I don't know many famous Devantes besides Agape, who I made some really good music with. If you're interested in our music, check out some of the playlists. Make sure you all subscribe and like the stream. We have everything for everyone. We have a podcast titled Tech That Builds Wealth, where I help you make money, generate more wealth, or get promoted using the technology that you already have. We have music, we have movies, shorts that are funny, shorts that are serious, something for everyone. The family will enjoy. Not any famous Devantes. Nope. No famous besides like some football players at like the college level, some basketball players at the college level, and yeah, no actors, no famous musicians. Um, and you spell yours Devante. All right. Oh wait. What's that one? No, I'm thinking of what's that? It's not Devante. Devante's like a super positive name. Dante. Isn't it Dante's Inferno? Dante. So you're not Dante. So you have nothing to do with the Inferno. Yeah, Dante. You're Devante. That's something else. Similar but something else. Have you heard Jodeci? It's an R&B group. Let me look that up. Jodeci. One of my cousins' name is Jodani. Um, no, I haven't heard of Jodeci. All the R&B stuff that I've heard. Okay, Casey and JoJo show up. Casey. No, I haven't heard it. I'll definitely check that out. And but that's interesting. Never really looked up my names. Wait, hey, Medea. Tyler Perry said it best. You gotta know where you're from to know where you are going. So, I mean, that's the best knowledge. Knowledge of self. All right, so I'm gonna keep that Jodeci group here. It's an R&B duo, and I'm gonna listen to them. I can't play music that's copyrighted live here because then this video here will get marked for copyright. The only music that I can play is music that we've produced, that we own the copyright to, which is available on our channel. But I will definitely listen to them, and I've got some headphones over there, so I might just whip out the headphones, and actually I'll do one better. Let me take a quick look here. I'm gonna look at the lyrics. See what songs you recommend from Jodeci, if I'm even saying that right. So it looks like they are very relevant music as of 3 years ago. I'm looking at the song Forever My Lady, Freaking You, Crying for You, I'm Still Waiting, and Stay, You and I. Okay, so they've got a lot of music, a lot of music videos. Terrific. I'm going to save that right there. That's going to be part of the playlist. And maybe on the next stream, I'll talk a little bit about that group after listening to a few of their songs. So, this is what's unique about this channel is that anytime I talk to you all, and I've never seen any other channel do this, but I create the thumbnails from scratch. You know the thumbnails, people look at the videos, oh, what videos has this person created? Well, there's an image that you click on the image and this video opens up, or any of the other streams that get saved. And what I do is after this chat, after this God TLC session, I create that image, I upload it with this one. This will get saved. You can always rewatch this. And if you've been participating in a chat, or you said, hey, I subscribe, and whatever, sent something, or you've been a part of the conversation, I usually, sometimes, I've been doing it recently a lot, is put your name and your channel on the thumbnail. Some of you have pictures of you on the page, and copy and paste, put it on the thumbnail, and then all of a sudden when people come to my channel, they'll see your channel, and they'll be like, oh, I'm going to check out God Tender Loving Care, our channel. And looks like God Tender Loving Care is collaborating, or someone else joined the stream, and it's this person and that person. I'm gonna go check out their channels as well. Now, rarely do I ever promote someone else's page, but I have promoted other people's page on the stream, whether that be someone who subscribed or was very active on a chat, or just bringing some really good energy. So if you're also a content creator, musician, filmmaker, creator of some sort, business owner, and you want me to share what you're working on, let me know. And I'm all for collaboration. The C word, collaboration, also known in business as networking. So some of you asked, for that, for shout outs, for promotion. I'll do it for you. And some of you don't, but you're just very positive. I'll share your work. And if you don't want me to, just let me know and I'll take it off. No biggie. All right, so let's take a quick look here. So if you're new to the stream, make sure you subscribe and a like. That will go a long way and it boosts up the algorithm. So I saved the tab with that group that you mentioned. I'm just gonna make sure that it's saved. And one thing that we did a few streams ago, a game that we all played, is we started to look at different states, right? I always ask, what part of the world are you all joining from? Don't give me your address. I don't want your address. State, country, place that you're visiting. Like someone in our previous stream was saying, they're from the Netherlands and they're visiting Vietnam and they've been to Indonesia. They've traveled a little bit to India, etc. Some people have joined and said, shout out to the Philippines. So shout out to the Dominican Republic. What other ones have we had? A shout out to Puerto Rico. We've had some Chicanos on here. Shout out to California, Texas, Florida, New York, everyone from everywhere. And we started to look at the states and the countries and what they're known for. And we play this game where I said a state, right? And you all have to guess what that state's motto is or what the state is known for. For example, Florida. And right away, you all got it during our previous stream. A lot of you said, oh, Florida? Florida is known as the Sunshine State, right? Easy. New York. Some of you thought New York was a little harder. We got it, though. The Empire State. Colorado. And you have to be a fast typer, so I'll give you a little bit of time. Now, this is just review. We did Colorado, and then we did Illinois. I remember Colorado. And I know Illinois. PA. PA like Pennsylvania? What is Pennsylvania? Now you're giving me a challenge. What is Pennsylvania known as? Oh, Philadelphia. Okay. Philadelphia. Then what is Pennsylvania? What would Pennsylvania be? All right, so Pennsylvania is the Keystone State, but you said Philadelphia is known as, the city of brotherly love. Right on. We didn't get to those states yet. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania. What's that Will Smith song? In West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground is where I spend most of my days. And what are we known for? Oh, so Philadelphia is known as the city of brotherly love. The name actually comes from Greek. Philos means love. Adelphos means brother. So when you put Philos and Adelphos together, which is Greek, you get Philadelphia, the birthplace of America, because of the Declaration of Independence and Constitution being signed there. People usually call it Philly. Famous things around Philly: cheesesteaks, Liberty Bell, the Rocky Steps. Yeah, there we go. So Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania. You know, anytime I think about Pennsylvania, I just can't help it. I think of the Transylvania because of the Vania part in Pennsylvania. Vania. Like we looked up Philadelphia, but what does Pennsylvania mean? Pennsylvania. Like Transylvania, where the vampires are from. So the capital of Pennsylvania is Harrisburg. The biggest city is Philly. We're very close to New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, West Virginia, and Ohio. There you go, you got it. Terrific. All right, so let's keep on exploring some states. So we had Colorado, known as the Centennial State. Now I know Illinois, Chicago as the Windy City, but that's Chicago, the Windy City. What is Illinois known for? I want to say something like Lincoln, the Lincoln State, but let's look up Illinois. What is Illinois known for? Capital of Illinois is Springfield. The biggest city is Chicago. Oh, no, nothing with Lincoln yet. The Prairie State. And I've had Chicago deep dish pizza. I'd have to go back again if you want a story on if the pizza was good. Yeah, the pizza was decent, but I pretty much say that about any pizza. Just pizza is like one of my favorite foods. So, I mean, I don't know if I've ever had like a pizza that I took a bite of and then just like and threw on the ground. Every pizza that I've ever had has been like decent. But I have had very, very, very bad food experiences. And I don't even know if I should tell you all this story, but be very, very careful about the restaurants that you go to because I was off getting some Mexican food once, right? Nothing to do with pizza, nothing to do with anything that we're talking about, but we're talking about like good food. And I don't know what it was, but I ordered my food. And I'm there with my business partners. We all go there together. And we look at our plates. And we're looking at I don't know what it was, tacos or something. And I'm like, I go to eat. And no one else noticed it. But I go to eat. And then I drop my food. I'm like, what the heck is that? Let me know in the chat, what do you all think it is? I don't even know if I should say. I think I'm gonna keep this as a cliffhanger. So maybe I'll share this at 1,000 subscribers. What do you think I found in that taco that made me drop it? Anyways, let's keep on moving forward. So we ventured to Illinois, Pennsylvania, specifically Philadelphia. We went through some of the other states. Let's do one more. Let's do. What state has been on the news recently, or what state is doing like good things? Well, let's do California. California recently had the fires, and all the support for California. Hopefully, everyone's doing fine. A lot of people lost their houses. That was very, 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 very bad. What happened in California? The fires. Okay, so the capital of California, just because Californians need some love right now and the support. Sacramento is the capital. The biggest city is Los Angeles. It's nicknamed, I didn't know this, the Golden State. And it's named after the gold rush in the mid-1800s. Famous for Hollywood, beaches, Yosemite, National Park, Silicon Valley, wine country, and of course, incredible weather. Borders Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, and the Pacific Ocean. California is huge, from deserts to mountains to coastlines. Yeah, I know California is huge. North Cal, South California, and that South California area has always interested me because one of my business partners back in the day, no longer a business partner, but we did some business back in the day. She told me that she was from this place called Baja California. And I was like, oh, okay. She spoke Spanish. Like, okay, Baja California. Can you tell me more about that? I mean, there's Baja, which means low, and then California. She's like, yeah, that's just like it's right by the border between Mexico, Mexico, and California. And to this day, I'm like, oh, so Baja California is like this place, this land that is like half Mexico and the other half is the United States of America, and you're from there. So she was like, yeah, and I was born on the other side, the Mexican side. But people there, like, they don't really think much of like it's two different places. Not we have to because if you're born in the United States, then you're an American. If you're born in a different country, then your birth certificate says you're from that country. So it's always fascinated me that they did that, and I haven't really seen any other places do that, where like here's the land, this part here, it belongs to that country, this part here belongs to that country, but we're gonna call this entire region one thing, right? It's usually like here's a city, here's another city, city, city. Oh, here's a state, here's another state. Like so, I've been on since we're in California, Baja California, and she said they have amazing food. She's never had food like that. So I'm looking it up here, and it says that Baja California is the northernmost state in Mexico. So this source says that it actually belongs to Mexico. The capital city is Mexicali, which is Mexico, California. Famous for beautiful beaches like Ensenada and Rosarito. A lot of great food. It's culinary, like oasis. And it says Baja California, the state to the north. Baja California is divided into two main areas, and this is what she was talking about. Baja California, which is the north side, and Baja California Sur, the southern part. Wow, very fascinating. So, you know, those stories of where people are from always stand out to me. Where they're from, the languages that they speak, how they grew up. You know, one of my long time acquaintances, business partner back in the day as well, a different person, once told me, and I didn't believe him at first. He said, I don't really know where I was born. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, well, like, my parents were born in Mexico, but they say that I was born in like the air. And I'm like, what do you mean you were born in the air? Were you born in Mexico? Were you born in the United States? Where? And he tells me, well, I was born on the airplane mid-flight when they were traveling from Mexico to the United States. And my question, I don't remember in what order, but one of the questions that I asked was, oh, so were you born like in the air in Mexico or in the air in the United States? And they said, no, well, it was like had already arrived to the United States. We were actually like flying over California. So my birth certificate says California. And that has always stood out to me. One of my business partners, acquaintances back in the day. And I'm like, wow, was your mom all right? Was there a doctor on the flight? Like, how did that all happen? And they didn't really want to elaborate. Their story was started to get muddled But I left it at that, right? I wasn't really pushing like, no, you weren't born on an airplane. Tell me the truth. I didn't really say that. They have brothers, right? They have a lot of, and their brothers and me were actually closer, like homies, friends, and did more business together. So I go in that one day, just the topic comes up because I think they're all fighting, they're all feuding, they're all, the opposite of brotherly love. And I'm like, you're brothers, and all that. And then they're talking about how their family is going through stress, and their mom had to go back to Mexico because she got very sick, and she can't eat American food because it's all greasy and processed. So they have her on a strict diet in Mexico so she can beat cancer, eating all farm food, fruits, vegetables, right off the vine, so it hasn't lost its nutritional content. And they start fighting and all that, and then I'm like, oh, I can head out now. They're like, no, 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 you're here, you're doing business. We're doing business. We'll get to that in a moment and all that. You're good. And then I'm like, hey, so you're mad at your brother and all that, and you ever thought about taking a family trip or something? And I'm like, would you fly? Would you take the car? And that comes up. I'm like, like, I mean, he was born on an airplane, and his younger brother looks at me like, what? I'm like, what do you mean, what? Uh, your brother told me that he was born on an airplane. He was born in California on an airplane. And he's like, did he tell you that? I'm like, yeah. I don't know what's the big deal. And then he's like, he wasn't born on an airplane. He was born when my dad was looking up tickets for like the next week or the next month. He was born in the hospital. And he tells everyone that he was born on the airplane because he wants to be special. True story. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So he told me that he was born on an airplane because he wants me to think that he's special. Like, oh, born on an airplane. You're neither from here nor there. They might as well put like the airport or the airplane as your place of birth. Like, and he didn't get that reaction from me. He got like, oh, okay, cool. So he's telling me that, and he's like, yeah, no, he was born in a hospital, and he just tells that to everyone because he wants to think that he was born on an airplane, so that he can say, because the rest of the brothers, well, he wants to, just I don't know, it's getting complicated. So the oldest brother was born in Mexico, right? The middle brother, who told me he was born on the airplane, was was he's the middle brother. Airplane is middle brother, and then the youngest one was born in the United States. So there's something called sibling rivalry, and I don't know why, but in that family, the older brother, like being born in Mexico, he was kind of like, yeah, I'm legit, I'm authentic, and you know how they have the shirts, hecho en Mexico, made in Mexico. They put that on the shirt. Like he was like, I'm the real one here. Look at those gringos. My brothers are gringos. They're born up there in the United States. And I just listened. I'm like, okay, whatever floats your boat, right? But the middle brother wanted to be like the older brother, so he said, and would tell people he was born on an airplane, even though he was born in the United States. He was born in California, and he did that so that he could claim both, so that he could say, well, I was born in Mexico because we're going to go fly to Mexico or something, but I'm also born in the States, so I get the both best of both worlds. And then the youngest one was born in the States, and older brothers would like call him the gringo and call him the guerito, or the whitewashed one. So there was always that going on, and um, I didn't want to start a fight with them. I didn't want to tell the middle one, like, oh, hey, why'd you tell me you were born on an airplane? Your younger brother just told me that you were born at the hospital. I didn't do all that, but it came up later on. It came up later on because there was a musician with me at the studio. Like, we were working on some business, and The middle brother had told the same story to the other business partner, but that other business partner wasn't having any of his like drama or anything. Like, he got mad at him one day, and he pretty much like said, "At least I don't lie to people about being born in an airplane. You were just born in a hospital." And he goes, "No, I didn't. I never said I was born on an airplane." And the reason he said that, he denied that claim, was because his older brother and his younger brother and his dad and his mom and his cousins, whatever, were in the same room. And he didn't want other people to know that he was telling everyone that he was born in the middle of a flight in an airplane. But he had told me, he had told that business partner, the younger brother knew that he was going off telling people that, because it was just like he had heard it. And he was really the only one like saying, like, "Stop lying." The older brother was kind of like, "Hey, he just wants to be like me," and didn't really do anything about it. So Baja California, that's how we got on that topic, because that's a very unique region. There's the north part of Baja California, there's the south part. The north part belongs to the United States, the south part belongs to Mexico. Let me know, what part of the world were you born? And nothing really special, like, you're not telling me specifics. Like, I've known people born on military forts. They're like, "Oh yes, I was born in Germany." I'm like, "Oh, you're German?" "No, no, 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 no. Just born on a military fort." Um, I was born on an air base in France. "Oh, you're French?" "No, American, but my parents just happened to be there and doing American business and just happened to be there on vacation." Where are you all from? We all have these unique stories of birth, unique stories of lineage. Roots is the key word here. ROOTS, roots. And yes, Stefan Brumfield, cliffhanger. Cliffhanger being that, when am I going to find out? When am I going to find out? Might as well say now. We have so many topics, so much business, that you all waited until the very last part of the stream. Steven, a few others, and I were talking about the one time I went to just a random Mexican restaurant around close to my house, and we're talking about food. And I said, I've never really said pizza was bad, but I have said that some food is bad. And I went to this restaurant. I'm there with my business partners. We're sitting at the table. We just ordered our food. I got the tacos. And I usually order the burritos, just because bang for your buck. Like, they stuffed this thing full of vegetables and sauce, and it's like, I'd rather have, be full and pay less than cough or another taco, because, little flimsy tacos. Nowadays, enchiladas. If you ever try Mexican restaurants, try different ones in your community. Always order the enchiladas. Always. That will let you know how the rest of the food is, whether the burritos are going to be worth it, the tacos, etc. And enchiladas pretty much like a blend of the taco, the burrito, the sauces, everything all in one. So you get like the buffet experience without being at a buffet. So lately I've been doing that. And going back to the story, my worst dining experience ever. We're at this Mexican restaurant, and I might as well just put them on blast because it was so disrespectful. What do they call themselves? Let me look them up real quick. What do these people call themselves? I mean, I know a name on the top of my head, but I don't want to say the wrong one. Oh, I know what it's called. It's called Chicken Palace. So I went over to the Chicken Palace, got some tacos, and we're all sitting around, laughing, having a good time. I go to eat my taco, but before I eat it, I look at it, and no, not bugs. Stephen said bugs, not bugs. There were pubic hairs in that freaking taco. Little curly, ugly pubic hairs in the taco. And not just a few, like, oh, maybe it's someone's curly hair. No, it was, we took pictures of it. We got it, like, we had this thing, like, I don't know what happened, the lawsuit fell through. There were so many obstacles in the way. And I don't know, this is our hypothesis, because I wasn't the only one there. they had said that they were back there clowning around, right? The person who was making the food probably went into their bush and just yanked it from their bush, just disgustingly, and sprinkled it. And they thought it was funny. They thought it was funny that someone on that day was gonna eat some pubic hair tacos, and I wasn't a victim. Like, they didn't get me, but well, the reason the lawsuit fell through was because I had a flight scheduled the next week, and I just let it go. Everyone was telling me like, hey, that sucks. We'll never go back. We'll give them a bad review. We're never doing business with them again. And the place eventually ended up shutting down with the ownership. Like, someone must have blown it out of proportion. It was on the news. Like, the news did cover it, just because I let people know. I was like, I'm never going there again. They put pubes in my tacos, and the news, like, just the people I knew friends in the news, and they told them, and they're like, they did an investigation. And I was just like, man, I'm traveling out of the country, and I've got a lot of stuff on my plate. That to come back, lawyer, attorneys. I guess if I can handle this on the phone while I'm taking care of business abroad. But then we came back. It was under new ownership. The cooks who were making the food, they weren't even there anymore. But it ended up, the investigation found out that people actually like went to that place and had eaten their food. Like, later on, there was an outcry in the community of people saying, that's what that was. And I got very close, and I remember I threw it down. I gave it back to them, and maybe it was their last day there, but they thought it was funny to do that, to dig into their bush and pull just a bunch of. And one of my business partners actually was more vulgar about it. He was like, dude, it was probably the ass hair. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. But when my friend said that, he was like, it was probably the ass hair, because some people have been known to go back there, scratch when they're making other people's food, and then just like pluck a few. And it was men. It was men. And I was like, that's disgusting, dude. So I wasn't a victim because I saved myself. I don't know, the spirits around me were like, pay closer attention. Look at what you're eating. Look at what you're going to consume. And all of a sudden, before I take the bite, I'm like, I drop it. So, but other people had said, yeah, we ate that. We ate that. We saw it and we ate it. And we thought it was just part of like the salsas. It was like, no, it was actually like a lot. That taken it and sprinkled it, and they thought it was funny. They thought it was a prank. It was humor. And while people would eat the food, they saw on the surveillance, the cameras, that they would be laughing, looking at them. And people thought, oh, they're just laughing because they see that we're enjoying the food. And they're just laughing and being friendly. No, they're laughing because a lot of those people just ate a bunch of pubic hair tacos. So that's the worst dining experience I have ever had. And I've traveled the world and eaten everywhere. That was in the United States. That was at a Mexican restaurant, Chicken Palace. And, Thailand, they treated me well. Even food on the street vendors, never done that. Guatemala, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. We had a bite to eat in China, Singapore, Mexico, different states around the United States, Canada, specifically Canada. Canada has treated us, though, the best. Canada is awesome. It's expensive, but it's awesome. Canada, that perception Canadians are nice? Well, actually are. A lot of them. A lot of them are very just kind, polite. And what other countries can I mention there? Let's see. We can add France to the list. We can add Germany to the list. And yeah, always check your food. Even better, just make your own food. Just homemade. Be your own chef. And never went back there. There were more incidences of that happening because the people left after a week of people finding out, and I really don't know what happened after that. But there was another group of people that didn't have to leave. Like, didn't have business abroad. I was already abroad. That ended up like pursuing the restaurant and suing them. I don't know what happened with that. I was just visiting that place and I had to leave. Actually, and I even had to leave, not out of the state. It's like if it's one thing, if I would have been in the state still, like, okay, I'm still in the States, can still use my phone, can still use my Wi Fi. No, I had to leave the country for business. So when you leave the country for business, it's a completely different beast. Wi Fi is not reliable. Your phone, like, I had my phone, I had to completely turn it off and get a phone in that new country. And, um, and then work kept piling up, piling up, piling up. That, all right, the best I could do here is leave a review on what they did, let the people I know and care for to not go there. They're gonna spread the word of mouth, and they did. Right, one of my contacts, my mom actually, was really is really good friends with the local news station, and she was like, "You will not do that to my son. I go there," and the news outlet ended up reporting on that. And then everyone who went there with me that day, all different walks of life, never went back to that place. And they got a new ownership. The cooks that were there that day no longer there anymore. It was just like refresh. It was a refresh just like this. And then it started. And make sure to subscribe, everyone, before I hit that refresh button. If you want to hear more real, true stories, we've got Tender Loving Care. Thank you for joining today. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. So close to having that gift